So, um, it's been a while since y'all see me again. Um, I have no excuse. Like, I really don't. Um, kind of just a lot of procrastination, to be honest. Hopefully this shit focuses just for me. Oof, she got a little. Whoa, this motherfucker is not. There we are. There we are. There we are. Okay. Damn, I might have to turn the brightness down on this bitch too. Cause this bitch is bright as a motherfucker. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so I don't know, I kinda like I had the urge to make something to talk about this topic. Um it's like 5 right now. I haven't really slept, so and I've just been thinking, so I was like, I might as well make a video about what I've been thinking about because I feel like it's a pretty cool concept and it's something that I feel like a couple people need to hear as well as myself. So what I was thinking about, right, was the concept of being corrupted by the world, and I mean the world in more of like a biblical sense. Not that I'm very religious, but I feel like it's just a nice way to describe the hedonistic pleasures of the world, right? Um, no JoJo's, but like what I was thinking is that as you go on and move through life, and as you age, it's hard. It gets harder and harder to stay pure and keep your, how do I explain this? To keep a good heart. I'm not. I wouldn't say that. I'm the perfect human, or that. You know. You know that I'm just perfect in any sense. But I do feel as if I have good intentions at heart, and I feel like as I grow older, I'm starting to see a shift towards darker things, not in a creepy or like demonic sense or anything like weird like that. I just mean in terms of like the way that I move, like, and I seen this a lot. I'll say that like younger me because I feel like the younger you are, I feel like the younger you are and the older you get, you kind of learn to adapt and move in this world, or at least try to, you know, make it by adopting, certain tendencies that I consider psychopathic and like evil, to be honest. And I remember being 15 and 16 and consuming a lot of, like, I wouldn't say red pill content, but I would say like dating advice, I guess, things of that sort. And I seen that I adopted this personality that wasn't true to me because I felt as if I had to conform to the ideas and the culture and to basically get what I want, which is just connection. But things promoted um in our culture now are basically anti-connection. You know what I mean? You have this push and pull method and this don't text first and all this extra bullshit, and it's like, you feel me? For a long time I was playing those games, um learning how to manipulate, and that was, manipulation was something taught to me at a young age. And like, I don't mean this to sound like, cool, but like I've always been like, and like, I know this is gonna sound corny and I'm not trying to like, you know sound cool or whatever, but like from a very young age, I've learned how to manipulate people to get what I want because I realized very young that being honest with my intentions and, you know, being vulnerable and such and being pure hearted only gets you hurt, and it only worsens things for you almost. And it's like the opposite of what I was taught growing up. Like, everybody's here heard honesty is the best policy, which it is. I'll get into that, but like, for right now, I feel like as you grow up, that starts to very quickly, you start to realize that honesty isn't, you know, the best thing at all times. So, especially in the way, in the environment I grew up in, I'm not gonna harp too much on that, but it just it bred a little heathen, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And it's like, I would like to say, like, I've always been a good person at heart. Like, I've always wanted to help people, and I've always liked helping people. And I hate seeing people in situations that I can feel for. Like, if I've gone through something, I'll do my best for, another person to, to teach them the ways, to get out of the situation I'm in, or at least to prevent them from even ever, you know, um, being in in that situation, right? Um, but I'm starting to see as I grow older, you know, I'm starting to slowly become corrupted by this culture, and it's like I can see myself letting go of the virtues and ideals I've grown up with slowly, um and it sucks, and it's weird to have that kind of cognitive dissonance to what you're doing, because it's like, you know I know in cases that what I'm doing is wrong, but I feel like as if it's the only way to get what I want, especially in how the way that the world works, you know. Um. So yeah, and like, I always have a message at the end of these videos. I never want to leave y'all off with like some doomeristic, just give up, or just some negative shit. I more so made this video to remind myself who I am, and to remind you, the viewer, that that you don't have to change for this world. You don't have to go down these paths to get what you want. Um, you know, and you don't have to let the pain that um you've endured be all that you are, in a sense. Um, I feel like, you know, figures like Christ, like I said, I'm not, like, I am a believer, but I'm not very, religious. I don't want to sound too preachy, but I feel like figures like Christ are the best examples of, like, I would say, endurance, in the sense of, like, how much you can take, how much pain you can take emotionally, physically, you know. Characters like Guts from Berserk, to, embrace struggle, and, like, you're gonna go through dark periods, and sometimes you're gonna shut yourself out from the world, and you're gonna have to cope with the way things are. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, you know that don't ever stop, um don't ever stop being who you are. Don't ever stop being vulnerable. Don't ever stop, you know having a good heart. you have something special that, you know, deserves to be nurtured and fed and deserves to be, that shouldn't be let go of because of, what other people have done to you or whatever circumstances you may be in. You know, you were given this heart for a reason, these desires for a reason. You know, they can be met. And don't ever stop being a good person. You know, just don't allow this world to corrupt your innocent soul. You know, protect yourself from these things. But yeah, I guess that was really it. That's all I've really been thinking about. The gaming videos will come back. I just been having like a whole thing about gaming in general. Gaming is just fucking ass. I low key wanna talk to you guys. Like I would go back to streaming as well, but it's like streaming is so ass when you have no one to like really interact with in the chat. So it's like I really need y'all boys to start pulling up. I'm not gonna lie if I'm a stream. But yeah. I love y'all boys, man. Hope this video finds you well and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.